Greetings. This is Elvin the Turner, also known as Love Linux OS, in various Linux communities and at this blog site. Well, because of very good constructive criticism and just looking and wanting to be a perfectionist and do things better, I've gotten quite a few inputs on the making of this video about the Lubuntu 13.10 Saucy Salamander. So basically, this is the third take, and we're going to keep going at it until we get it right. But I think we figured everything out to deliver a high quality video where we was losing quality earlier. I think we figured those things out. So we're going to take all of that advice. We're going to focus in on Lubuntu, and we're going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, this is Lubuntu.net, the website, and right here at the front you can go and you can download Lubuntu. You can download it off of the website as well. You can use you can get the different processor types, whether it's i386 32-bit, 64-bit, or the Mac AMD 64-bit processor. You can download those through torrents as well, or you can go to a specific area to download. Right here, this is how you can get it inside Ubuntu. There's a blog, plenty of wiki information. You got the Ubuntu, the forums that you can go to, and basically inside these forums you can get all the help that you need to get. And it's pretty much searched out for everybody that's looking for help in Lubuntu. There's documentation, what all you need to know about how to operate the Lubuntu version of Ubuntu operating system. Contact information, who you need to get in touch with, how can you get in touch with the project team. So, who is the project manager, or the project head, or the lead developer? It's Julian Laverne, and I hope I'm enunciating his name correctly. But here it is. He's announcing it. He's organized this project through Launchpad, which you're going to learn about once you get involved inside the Ubuntu community. And then basically, this site is going to answer your basic question: what is Lubuntu? Well, simply lightweight X11 desktop environment plus Ubuntu. You get Lubuntu. So that's it. That's the key to what it's all about. Now, what is X11? X11 is the server for you to run for video, and so you can have a graphical user interface inside Linux. But lightweight X11DE is a desktop environment running off of that format. And basically this desktop environment was created because a programmer saw the need to create a faster and a better lightweight file manager. And out of creating that file manager, PC Man FM, he also created LXDE. And Hong Jin Yi is the creator of both of these, the file manager, and he's the head of the project over X11. That is the basis, the backbone of what makes Ubuntu such a lightweight, light footprint, memory footprint, very fast and powerful operating system. You can do a lot with it. You know, it's on a familiar style. I mean, we look at this, everybody knows it's familiar to 9X or NT. That's going back to when it first was done. A lot of people might know it now, and it's still in those reign on XP style formatting, but it's still this start menu, this start button, and this place to click. It's so familiar. The setup is so familiar, but yet uniquely defined and well organized, and runs pretty much without a hiccup or a glitch. And for as having stability in an operating system, you're not going to beat it with Linux. You know, having some flavor of Linux. They're built to continue to run. Linux was to be able to run and be up for long periods of time without losing functionality or without losing performance. And that's just basically how it does. Who cut their Linux boxes off? I know my server has been running for several days now, and that's just maybe a few months before I even turn it off. The only reason why I reset it or something because I updated the software and it needed a system reboot. And that's rare too, because sometimes unless you're updating the kernel, once you update the kernel, yeah, you need to reboot your system. But other than that, it's gonna run, and it'll run and run and run. So now, look at the improvements. You know, one of the biggest things between Lubuntu 13.04 and 13.10 is Firefox. You had all these other great features right here in previous version, based upon OpenBox. LXDE was based upon OpenBox. LightDM is your desktop manager or login screen, basically, but a little bit more than that. But simply, hey, where you gonna log in at? Firefox. That's the biggest difference, though. You know, from all the previous distributions of Lubuntu, included Chromium, or at least when I started using it, it was 12.04 is the version that I started out with, and so they was using Chromium as the default internet browser, a web browser, and now it comes stock out of box with Firefox. I thought that was a great way to listen to the community, get the feedback, and do some nice incorporation. So that here go all the list of improvements and everything right here in this heading. If we look next, we'll see the system requirements: a Pentium 2 Celeron with 128 megs of RAM, and that is, you know, very minimal. And if you're running something, you know, they even tell you how to, hey, you can do the fake PAE ISO so that you can get up and going if you don't have these extensions inside of your processor. So you can fake the physical address extension. If you don't have that inside of your processor, that's fine. We got an ISO to do that as well. And so you can get it running on a very minimal system, and you can have a productive environment to do things with. It turns an ordinary computer into a very powerful, fast, agile machine. Here you go. If you have known issues, graphic and display issues, pretty much all your applications, just different known issues that come about and everything. The release notes, again, known issue, how to report the bugs, and then a nice little thank you from everyone that pretty much put in to the project. Different links to the project, documentation, and of course we've already been to LXDE website, the blog, and plenty of Ubuntu. Now, one mentor that is huge, that's been inside the community of Ubuntu for some time now, is Mr. Phil Whiteside. He's pretty much, I think he's heading up the Lubuntu QA team, and basically, you know, he's been giving me pointers on about how to make these videos and what can be done better with them. So since he gave me the pointers, I'm taking it up. I just wanted to go to his wiki page so you can come down and see all of this extensive help, places where you can go and get help, or what all he's done, you know, and all his testimonies is here. And it just lets you know, hey, here it is, you know what I'm saying? He's got plenty of people that he helped from beginners, and now they're right in the thick of things. They're major contributors to the Ubuntu community, and he's been a major contributor for some time and doing some great things. He even have his own website, so you can go here and further develop yourself inside what all Mr. Whitehead, or what all Mr. Whitehead have to learn and teach you, or you can even shop with him on there. So I just want to give him a kind of a thank you and a shout out at the same time. Now, if you look at this is my wiki page, and I think it's important. Like I said, I've been using Linux since about 1998, and I didn't get involved until just last year. So, and it feels really good to be involved. Now I'm taking baby steps, and I'm still kind of finding my way. And I just started blogging about open source information. So pretty much I got some things to add to my little profile page, and also but this is where you can find me and everything, and a little bit more information about me. All right. So let's look at Lubuntu. And we're going to do it inside VirtualBox. Basically going to run this as live. While Lubuntu is booting, the last time, in each iteration of this video, I just think about it. I get a little better, and that's what the whole purpose is about. I found some great tools. Everything that I'm doing is with open source software, free and open source software, which makes it it's phenomenal about this open source movement. So if I can inspire you to get involved, get back to the communities, do your little small part. I hope this is my little small part to say thank you to everybody who created all this fabulous free software to make it more affordable, to be a more productive educator, developer, to learn more about computers myself, user, enthusiast, whatever title you want to put on it. I've always been a fan of computers, and so this is just phenomenal, the open source movement. Wow. That isn't much, that isn't bad boot time for inside an operating system, and we're recording. I got a couple of things going in the background. I have I'm running a VirtualBox, a little text file to keep me outlined as to what I'm gonna talk about. And I'm running simple screen recorder. So if I'm not quite at 2 of the 4 gigs of RAM I have, a little work is being done on my processors, but other than that, 13% of my swap this time. My swap been going here lately, but at some instances I haven't even used any swap. So let's look at this, and one of these nice, cool little features about Lubuntu, and it's a few operating systems that does it, but not many. Some of them you have to click in there, and you got to come down here, and you got to integrate the mouse, or you got to go up here inside the virtual machine and install the guest edition. Well, right out of the box, and you probably still can install the guest edition and get a few more features, but out of the box you got mouse integration, keyboard integration. That's pretty nice. That's pretty cool. So let's look at it. If we look at the accessory, you have archive manager. Anybody know it's zip, raw, it's equivalent to that. Will it support all those file types? I don't know. You got the character map. You can and manage your disk drives. Here you got file manager, PC, man, FM, and this is the whole. This right here is the whole. This is the whole program or application that created, spawned the idea that if you're gonna have a powerful and fast file manager, why not build an entire desktop environment around it? And so there it is. I take my hat off to you. We go in there. You have calculator, you have image viewer, leaf pad, LX terminal, and you have XPad like sticky notes and things like that. And calculator is basically is a calculator. So you have the basic accessories that you would have in an operating system. You got a plethora of card games. Graphics, you can do document viewer. You got empty paint and simple scan. For like I said, Firefox is the biggest addition to this version to the Saucy Salamander, and from Raring is integrate Firefox as the default browser. That's the biggest, one of the biggest new additions. Now they also uninstalled a program because PCF Man FM File Manager is able to do its own searches now, so it doesn't have, what is this? We want to make sure we got it right. Catfish, and I was going to say that, but I just want to make sure I had it right. So those are two major upgrades that they made. So then you have Pigeon, Instant Messenger, Seal Feed, and Transmission. This for your torrent download. Seal Feed, that's your email client. If you look in the Office category, you have Abby Word, and you have a document viewer again, and then we have numeric, and that's basically is your word processing and spreadsheet. It comes stock for you to do word processing and spreadsheet. Sound, we have Audacious, GuView, and XBurn FM. GuView is for your web camera. I don't have a web camera, don't have it virtualized, so we can't do that. And then XFburn. Now I don't have a burner virtualized either, but this is a great piece of software too. And you see it's telling me I don't have any burners, but this is a great piece of software for creating CDs and DVD mastering. Now we come to System 2. You got the Debian, GDebi package installer. You have gparted, so you can manage your partitions and look at your disk usage. I just like to start sometimes say, hey, free space I have on this particular drive, not just the partition, but this particular drive as well. You can look at, you can install Lubuntu 13.10, but you got it right here on your desktop as well. Lubuntu Software Center. Me personally, I like when stuff is organized and everything and categorized and visualized. It's a great visualization tool as far as installing your software. Of course, you can do it from the command line, but this is a nice visual way of installing your software. And I hear a lot of complaints and read a lot of complaints online. Well, I don't know how to do it. So basically, you just add the program that you selected to your basket. And then you get an add apps in basket. You go to your basket. Once you're in your basket, there you have it. It's already telling you what all the dependencies have been resolved, and it's ready to download. So you install packages. Just that simple. We're not going to install anything, but it's just that simple. You have printer. You can configure your printers. And funny thing about printers, because Lexmark, I remember when Lexmark stepped out there, and it was one of the first major hardware vendors that supported open source. I remember it was hard to find the good drivers. I mean, it's still in some places, there are some quirks here and there, still not being ported in one, or it's being out. Pretty much like my particular old machine and my video drivers are being phased out. But that's okay. I can use an open source instead of proprietary driver, because I'm fine with that, because I like the speed that I'm getting with 13.10 with Saucy Salamander. I'm like, instead of having those proprietary drivers, it makes for gaming, but I'm more about production, so it doesn't matter to me right now. And I hope it makes for good video too. We're going to see that we get a better quality video. I hope it's not the drivers why every time I produce one of these videos, it's something wrong. But Lexmark was the vendor, major hardware vendor. And now, you got NVIDIA, you have AMD, you have HP. I was amazed to see the HP just had printer drivers, because they was sure enough wasn't going to happen. And Intel and Microsoft, you know, they've been in a marriage for a long time, and to just see both, even Microsoft itself is supporting Linux or Ubuntu inside its servers. It's documented. So I'm not saying nothing that I can be sued for. Anyway, you wouldn't get anything. So software updater, you know, so you can keep your software up to date. Startup disk creator, so you can create a startup disk, so mainly just so you can create, if you want to boot it from a USB drive. And then for the longest, Synaptech Package Manager has been the graphical interface or organizer, letting you see how and what is going on, how you're installing stuff on your system. For the longest, it's been there. So for before even Ubuntu existed, since Synaptech Package Manager been around, and I've been dealing with going back and forth, who is the best, what should you do, and so, you know, finally, you know, a lot of people got together and said, hey, let's just make it easy. And that's the evolution of Linux, you know, and Ubuntu. I am because we are. That's just so powerful. You know, you got the system profiler, basically a benchmark system profiler. You want to benchmark your system, profile your system. You come here, you want to find information about your system, get a summary on your system and everything. Then you come here and it gives you a summary about what's going on with your system. And you see it's running pretty fast, and I've only allocated 512 megs, but 10 megs of it is for video. Then you have your task manager, date and time, users and groups, so you can manage a visual or GUI interface for managing users and groups. Administer node, UX term and X term, so you don't have to just use LX terminal, but just different terminals. Preferences, you can go here and customize from your Bluetooth manager, customize how everything looks and feels. Default application for LX for your sessions. So what's going to load when you log in? Desktop preferences. Again, you can manage the disk. Input method, keyboard and mouse, keyboard input method, language support, your monitor. You can set up and your refresh rate, your resolution for your monitor and everything. That's just not into this particular video. We're just looking what is Lubuntu coming with out of the box. Network configuration, open box configuration, power management, preferred application, and then right here in software and updates. Well, we just seen software updater, but this comes to the preference screen and let you side or select your different repositories, and that's where your source. Where's your source for how you getting this software? What sources are you using? And see, that's the beautiful thing, is that you have a universe of software open up to you by using Linux, Ubuntu, Lubuntu flavors, because there is so many different open source projects, so much free software out there. Sometimes I feel like a kid in the candy store. I love learning about software. I always have loved learning about software, and that's the whole process. What I'm doing right now is learning how to do something that was never interested in me, and that was to be never had an interest in being a videographer or create video, but I find myself doing more, just trying to do my little part, or learning more, trying to do my little part to give back to the community. This is how I'm giving back. And basically you can run a program here and you can log out, and that's Lubuntu. You know, it doesn't get any simpler, any better than that. So love Linux OS. That's me. I thank you so very much for taking your time to view this video. And be blessed. I am.